Hey everybody, welcome to tonight's episode of the Cosmic Corsairs. Sorry about the false start there. My name's Orion Senshi, and we're here for tonight's wonderful episode about our favorite lovable dastardly pirates who sail the 7 galaxies. That works, right? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Sure. We'll go with that.
Oh man. So great.
Alright, so when we last left our intrepid explorers, they had been on a wild and crazy adventure because they'd gotten a wonderful request from the Elegant Goose in order to help them defend a research outpost. Over the course of the time of this mission, they were assaulted by a new ship that they'd never seen before, employing new, unknown technologies, stopping time itself. And after a harrowing adventure, they managed to just barely escape. And the brave and brilliant Dr. Whitaker was able to back up all of the data from the space station.
You know it.
And so now we pick up with our adventurers after our wonderful pilot Spack had been able to dodge and bob and weave through all of the debris from the flying destruction of the space station, and we pick up just moments from where we left off after they had just watched the Leviathan fly away as they're starting to wonder, what do we do now?
Wait, you knew about that, Eden, and you didn't tell us at all?
Well, I mean, you know, it's kind of... I thought it was too nerdy for you guys. You know, you always look at me funny anyway whenever I talk about random stuff.
Right, random stuff that doesn't exist.
I'm pretty sure by your standards, all the ways I look are funny.
This is true. Sorry, guys. Do you guys want to see my maps? I have...
No, thank you.
I think we need to get out of here first, but you should probably get them, maybe. I don't know. Somebody else needs to make a decision around here. I'm just gonna fly the ship.
I'm just making sure it doesn't blow up.
So, Spack...
I would be happy to see your maps, Eden.
Oh, she would she?
So, Spack, as you're getting ready to fire up the engines to figure out where to go next, give me a technology check.
Oh, excellent.
And we die.
Great.
There it. Oh, 13.
Okay, so, something seems like it's
really
off
shitty roll.
with your hyperdrive. You're not sure if something's burnt out or whatever. It's some weird sciencey stuff that's just not starting. Something about it, you're just not sure what it is. But whenever you press the buttons and you do the things, all of the things that the engine are doing just feel sluggish and feel like there's something wrong. But you're not quite sure what it is.
So either we have a malfunction on the ship, or that thing that we're towing is too heavy. I don't know which one it is. Doc, legs.
Yeah, I'll do
Smarts.
some digging in there to see what I can find out.
So what are you going to do, Legs?
I'm going to check to see if I can get a diagnostic.
So as you examine the screen right in front of you from the bridge, it's not giving you anything that's wrong. You're not seeing anything wrong. Looks like all the systems are connected properly, and everything seems like it's working functional. But you know that sometimes the sensors tend to be a little bit off, so you're concerned that maybe you might have to go physically check in the ship.
I'll be back. I'm going to go take a closer look at things.
Great.
And I'm going to leave the bridge and then activate my stealth to casually stroll through along the side. Yeah, along the walls and ceiling. Just in case there is something afoot, I'm not intruding on their path, and I'm also in a great position for ambush. Just in case.
Okay, so we're going to get back to what happens with you because there's something special that's going to happen there. So now we're going to look at the rest of the bridge. So what are you guys going to do once Legs heads out?
Looking over and seeing that two of them are playing around with maps. The other one seems to be slumped into her chair. I think this is a great opportunity to slide all that information over to my quarters and then start perusing through the science logs of that station. Maybe there might be something useful. And when I get back to my room, the first thing I'm going to do is make a phone call to some of my contacts to see, after I've gone through the data, I want to make a phone call to some contacts to see if I can unload some copies. Make some quick cash. Scientifically speaking.
Of course. So, as you go back to your room and you're going back through the data, give me a technology check so we can go over how quickly
He's
Frozen.
Boop.
Oh no,
Looks like we
I think
lost
we
Orin.
did.
No, but it might just be a stutter. I'm pretty sure it's okay.
I didn't know he stuttered.
The There you are.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, my internet lagged for a second there.
Okay.
So whenever you get to your room, give me a technology check just so I can know what you are able to glean from this and how long it takes you to go over all of this data, because it's a lot of data.
Okay, there was things that my character has that will help me out with this, and I'm trying to remember what they're called. Oh! Is this am I under pressure?
Not unless you want to be.
Oh. And then I have ultimate effort technology.
Ultimate effort technology means that you can spend a hero point, which all of you start the game with 1, and we can get more as people beat the stream boss. You could spend a hero point to just take a 20 on the roll, not even roll at all.
Yeah, you know what? I got a hero point and I didn't get to use it last time. Let's get this show started.
Well, you don't get 2 here.
I got 1 hero point. I'm going to use my hero point and take a 20 on the ultimate effort technology and spread all that data out on multiple different screens and begin digesting it as quickly as possible. That gives me a 34.
34, gotcha.
Wait, I'm sorry. It gives me a 40.
40, okay, good. So you beat a 35. All right, so the biggest thing that pops out to you is you see there is some hyper advanced research for utilizing different, for essentially transforming one material into another. Like they were experimenting with light because it seemed like the most malleable and the easiest for them, like the most plentiful thing for them to turn into something else. But you find data that they tried it with everything. They didn't just start with light. There was some data on what it took to turn plant matter into meat, turning stones into bread, and all of these things, and you find quantities listed in there. This is far advanced research. This is borderline the realm of magic and alchemy that they're experimenting on. But a lot of these things require a great deal of energy, and it's limited what these materials can be turned into. And their current experimentation was light, because light, while being the most volatile, they theorized could be the ultimate material for turning into anything.
Nice.
With no limitations.
Excellent. Well then, I will spend some time perusing through data files and looking for somebody who might be interested. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm trying to find somebody who might be interested in buying this data.
Okay, so overall, this entire process, because you're spreading it through a lot of different screens, you're putting so much time and effort, it's going to take you the better part of an hour, okay?
Fine. At this point in time, I'm eating ice cream and hanging out with Gauza as we flip through data.
All right, and Gauss is, of course, doing his stereotypical grunts every time you motion to him.
Yeah.
All right. So, we've got Dr. Whitaker in his quarters with his best friend, doing what they do best, spreading through data and selling it illegally. Legs is currently exploring the ship, so let's hop back to the bridge and see what our favorite trio is up to right now.
I thought we didn't play favorites.
Well, now you know.
We are the best trio on the spaceship.
I agree.
Well, you're all favorites, but currently the only one of you's together is the trio.
Mm.
So I will start pulling up my maps and star charts and some of the lore notes and everything that I have accumulated in my time in space about Leviathan, bringing it out, showing it off to Echo. Like, oh, it was this big event over here, and it came through this star system, and I didn't really get a lot of information on this because the pages that I actually found that were on paper were ripped up. They were terrible, but I put everything back together as much as I could.
You've done a very impressive job. I'm also impressed that you have so many maps that are made of paper.
I dig paper.
It's a difficult material to find these days.
It's very true. That's why I keep it only in my private stash.
Private stash.
Well, you've done a good job of preserving it.
And what about you, Spack? What are you up to?
I'm listening to the two of them, like, low-key flirt with each other. And it was like, whatever. So I instead, because, hearing them talk about, myths and legends made real, all the while flirting over, whatever paper is. If it can be torn up that easily, why work with it? I am going to see if I can I'm more interested right now in the ship that we have trailing along with us. So, it's like, so if you're done with whatever that was, do we want to figure out what's on the ship?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, it's right there, and we can just, reel it in, and then maybe go check it out?
Oh, that ship. Yes, I would love to investigate it.
I mean, and I look at my non-existent watch. Like, we're not going anywhere for a while, so we could have some fun.
Let's do it.
That sounds like a good idea.
And on the word of fun, we cut back to Legs, where Legs is currently going invisibly through the inner workings of the ship. Give me an investigation check, Legs.
Oh boy! Take it.
All right, so Legs, at this point, you realize that some of that your reactor seems like it hasn't fully recovered from being involved with that hypertachyon field, and you're following along the pipelines to get to see if there's some kind of a blockage or something where there's where fuel or coolant has been backed up or something is off kilter. And as you're coming around invisibly, you start to notice that you don't see any crew members. Like, you're skittering along the wall invisibly, and as you get closer and closer to where you think the blockage is, you see there's just no crew members. You see the temperature starting to go up a little bit.
Like what kind of temperature are we talking here? Like if I checked my sensors.
If you check your sensors, like normally the ship is kept at a nice, comfortable, like 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And right now it's floating at like the 80-82 range.
Interesting. I make a note, but I do continue onward to see if I can find more information. Because, like, The crew missing is an interesting. Actually, I'm gonna try to reach out to the bridge on my comm link.
Okay, so on the bridge, the comm opens up and Legs contact you all on the bridge as you're talking about reeling in the ship and going on an adventure on the ship. Legs, what do you say?
It's a bit warm back here, and I'm also noticing a lot of the crew is not present.
They're not.
I know that things that happened when we got the whole slowed down thing, but it's a little peculiar at this point.
Well, since I'm the one at the con right now, I'm gonna see if I can look up and find out where our crew people are. That's what I'm gonna do. Like, where's everybody on the ship? Did they all just go to,
Lunch.
go to lunch?
All right, so whenever you bring up the data on the ship, SPAC, you start seeing that the crew looks like they're mostly going about their job, but the entire deck, the entire floor that Legs is on, has no one on it whatsoever. And that is not, you can't remember what that floor is used for. It just seems relatively unusual that there just be no one there.
Yeah, I mean, and it looks like everyone is accounted for as far as that goes, or are we missing some people?
Everyone is accounted for as far as you can see.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden you see a blip, and you do see there is one more person on that floor. You see Walter is on that floor.
Yeah, I don't know where anybody is. Well, I mean, I know where everybody is, but they aren't on your floor. Weird. Oh, wait. Nope, somebody's there now. Oh, it's Walter.
Also peculiar. Just Walter and me then.
Just the two of you. Maybe you guys can look at some specs.
Maybe. If I see Walter, I will definitely say something. But I'm going to continue creeping along to see if I find anything else anything else unusual or alarming. Because the temperature is a weird fact, but it's not something that's a big issue for me, specifically at least.
So as you get closer, you start to feel the temperature starts to spike. And it goes from like the 80, 82, breaks into the 90, and then very quickly hits the 100 range. And you start to get some weird readings on your sensors, like there's some kind of an energy radiating from in front of you, but you're not sure what it is. You've never seen readings like this before, and you're a living machine.
Yeah, that's very peculiar. And so far, it's not hot to really harm me, it seems, but it is climbing rapidly. I must take a few steps backward. Does the temperature reduce as I back up?
Yes, as you back up, the temperature does reduce.
Okay, so I'm moving towards something hot. So I guess I'm getting closer to the problem, at least.
Now, on your heads-up display, where you've got information on the ship and the entire blueprint and layout of the ship, because you connected with SPAC on like where people were, SPAC did send you the coordinates on where they had Walter located on the tracker on his uniform, and you see he's currently up ahead as well, around the corner from you.
Weird. Okay. I guess I'm going to continue forward and try to locate Walter.
So as you come around the corner, as soon as you turn the corner, it feels like you're just getting smacked in the face with a wall of heat and some kind of energy.
Okay.
And what you see right in front of you, it looks like two of the pipes have fused together, and it looks like some of the coolant and some of the other reactive fluids that power your ship are currently mixing that should not be, and it's causing some weird unknown reaction in the air. And you see directly in front of them, you see Walter currently trying to enclose and hold the reaction in place with a wall of water.
Oh, this is bad. Okay. Well, I head up. Actually, I'm gonna just go ahead and send what I'm looking. I'm gonna send a live stream of what I'm looking at up to the bridge, and also like, hey, I think I found the problem, and I'm gonna go ahead and de-stealth and let Walter be aware of my presence. And
So
he's
whenever
holding it together with water.
Yeah, whenever you make yourself known, Walter he seems like he's heavy breathing and he's sweating and he's like, "Oh, it's you, Legs. Yeah, sorry, I detected the reaction. I evacuated this level. I'm holding it as best I can. I can't move right now."
I didn't think you could. Is there any way that I could probably? Is there any way that I could possibly get in and see it and help mitigate this a little bit with my tools on board?
Shut down the.
You're not quite sure what's happening, and you would probably have to shut down the reactor and go to auxiliary power.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and send.
No, shut down the reactor of the ship. So do you want to let anyone know before you just like turn off the ship?
Yeah, I'm going to say, hey, the ship needs to go dark. We found a leak, so to speak. So power is going to be a bit nil for a few moments as we do temporary repair.
Okay, so what are you all doing on the bridge? Whenever you get that image, you see this glowing reaction floating in midair, and you see Walter, like in his old self, currently trying to hold it in place with a wall of water, and you get this information. What is your reaction on the bridge?
Oh. I don't want to. Well, I guess Spec is going to quickly start working on rerouting to auxiliary power and shut down any of the systems that she can from her side of the con. So she's moving super fast to get stuff done. Yeah, I don't know, and be like, maybe you guys can go help him down there. That would be great. It's like. Maybe get the doctor. I don't know, but I can't. I'll handle things up here. So you're like all of my arms moving around, just kind of like making sure that I've got everything turned off, flipping lights on. I've put on the quote unquote red alert. We have a problem signal and we're going straight down. So yeah, it's like she's taking care of things up at the bridge right now. So look back at you two. Hey.
Okay, so for the other two on the bridge, what is your reaction to this whole emergency situation?
I'm going to come to Legs, and I'm going to ask them, is there anything that we can do to help?
Right now I just need to get a better look at things so I can find a real solution here. It's just a matter of finding the best angle to take, so to speak.
Would you like me to come down and help?
You're welcome to. I don't know how heat resistant you are, because things are a bit toasty here.
Eden, can't you just ghost it out of here or something?
I mean, it's our reactor. I don't know if it's a good idea to just ghost it out, so to speak.
Yeah, I could, but I don't think that would be good for the ship.
I mean, the leak.
I can, however, get us down there really quickly. Take my hand, Echo.
Dress for heat.
All right, and I grab Spac's hand.
No, Eden's hand. I'm like, don't.
Okay, I'm sorry, Eden's hand.
Not this one. I'm missing
Spac swats you away with her
I am sorry. There is an error with my processor. I apologize.
And now, at this point, we cut back down to Dr. Whitaker's room. Dr. Whitaker, because of your research, your experience, you've nailed down someone that you are certain for just a copy of a portion of the data files that you have, they would give you enough money to buy an entire battle cruiser yourself or to fund your research for the rest of your lifetime.
I contemplate this. I have all the data up on the screen. I'm looking at this. I look at Gauza. Gauza looks at me. He gives a knowing nod because deep down inside, we both strive for this. Lights go out, everything. Oh, heck. Did you save it? I didn't save it. Son of a biscuit. Son of a biscuit. I run over to the comm button. I hit the button. The power went out. And then Gauza stares at me for a minute because the power's out. And I'm trying to talk and use electro device. Oh, you're right. And in the darkness, I unzip my little friend's back and stick my head in and call the bridge.
All right, so the emergency comm goes off on the bridge, and you hear Dr. Whitaker contacting you. There's kind of an echo as he's speaking into the hollow cavity in the back of Gauza.
Hey, there's no power in the med bay. Is everything okay?
There's no power anywhere right now. No, things are not okay.
I did not save my work. What did you do?
That sucks for you, man. I'm trying to save the ship.
That was your first mistake. You have to remember to always save your work.
Oh, man. Do you guys need some help?
Help would certainly be appreciated, yes.
I'm currently stuck in medbay. The door won't open, so let me try to hotwire some emergency power unless somebody can reroute me some power. Otherwise, I currently have my head up my buddy's butt.
Is
Anytime now.
Is the med bay on the way to where the reactor leak is?
Yes?
Excellent. I'll pick you up.
Okay, that'll be fine.
All right.
In the meantime, please remain calm and be patient.
Not a problem. I got my ice cream here.
Wait, ice cream inside of Gauza?
This is on an open channel, Doc. Everyone can hear you.
How do you people share so much?
I don't need to know about your ass cream.
Your ass cream.
You're all glorified 5-year-olds. Moving on.
I'll gingerly take Echo's hand, and then we ghost out of here.
So it takes you about 5 minutes to make it across the ship to where the med bay is, and you ghost into the med bay where you see it's currently very dark in there. The emergency lights haven't kicked on yet, and but it's a little bit dim in there. And even in the dim light, I think does Gauza have like lights in his eyeballs?
He can, and probably right now that's exactly what he's done. Since my head's in his backside, he is now kind of resting on top of me, and his arms are about above my head, so that's where his shoulders are at, and his head's above my head, and his eyes are lit up at this point in time, and he's looking around the room. They're kind of like a soft yellowish color, not like a bright yellow, but a soft yellow, and so I'm using his arms like a periscope to maneuver around the room.
So we'll come through the wall over in one side, start looking around it. Oh god! Yeah, that's.
There's some things you can't unsee.
Are you ready?
The doctor pulls Gauza off his head. Do you need
assistance?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. The doctor pulls Gauza off his head and says, "Oh, great, you're here. Come on, little guy, hold my hand. Let's go with them."
I'll take Dr. Whitaker's hand with my other hand. And then we'll fly off to the reactor.
We don't have a ship therapist, do we?
No.
We have a doctor.
We do have a ship therapist. It's called alcohol.
So, you guys,
We should have
fly
considered hiring
away.
one.
Fly away to the towards where Legs is currently there, and at Legs, where you are, you see when the lights start going out, the reaction starts to fade out, and it starts to fade and fade and fade until there's just this light, like a ball of light, just floating in the air. It's not giving off a whole lot of energy or heat or anything. The temperature drops back down to normal. But there's just this ball of light floating right between the pipes, right between the broken pipes.
Okay. Can I divine any information about it?
Give me a investigation check. One more.
Oh boy. Yep, saw that one coming.
Ah!
Yeah, you're having some trouble putting it together, my friend. It looks like a ball of light.
Okay. I guess I'm just gonna wait for our Ghostbuster friends to take a look.
Okay, so around this time, you guys arrive, and what you see when you arrive is Legs currently has the back of its robot body open, and some of its arms are reaching back there and grabbing some examination tools and pulling them out and trying to examine the ball of light, but like Legs is like holding all of the tools wrong and doesn't realize it because its systems were a little bit scattered from the heat and from all the radiation that the thing was giving off. So you see Legs is currently trying to look at it with a microscope, except it's one of those table microscopes that has a base underneath it. So
Legs, would you like me to assist?
Assistance is always welcome.
All right. So after having observed Legs attempting to observe this thing.
I've never had to observe light before.
So, yeah, based on my observation, I would like to add some of my variable points into investigation.
Go for it.
How many do I have to work with again? I think I have 7. Was it 7? Was it 8?
I believe it was.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at my.
8 shots or 7.
Right. Sorry, I'm looking at my character sheet now. Okay, so I'm going to increase my I'm going to increase my investigation to 10.
All right, give me another check.
All right.
You need to beat a 15.
All right.
Oh,
Wonderful.
I definitely beat a 15.
Yes, you did. All right, so your examination of this, utilizing as you're mimicking the research techniques that you were currently watching Legs attempt to employ, you realize this appears to be a ball of some kind of energy. It might be residual tachyons from the wave that you had been caught in, and it seems like it was reacting with something. That it was reacting with the coolant and other fluids that were coming out of the pipes that had been burst. But they seem to be at rest, which is very unusual because in your understanding of science, when it comes to these things, tachyons are supposed to always be in motion.
This is very unusual.
I agree.
Tachyons typically don't behave in this way.
Dr. Whitaker, you're there as well. Do you want to do anything with this as you're watching this examination happen?
Sure. I have expertise in science.
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
I have expertise in science.
All right, so you can give me an expertise check. That's going to that is going to use your intelligence plus your ranks in that. All right, so when you're looking at this, that was a 24, right? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
As you're examining this seems like the tachyons are almost crystallizing, and you're not sure what might have caused it. But then you remember some of the data that you'd seen on the experiments to change light into other things, and for their process of transforming one thing into another, the first step was to crystallize the substance, or to get it to a point where it came to being completely still and not moving before it was bombarded with some form of radiation or energy to become hyperactive again.
Okay. I'm going to share this with everybody. So right before the power went out because it got shut off or whatever happened, I was as everybody knows, I have the data from the space station. Well, it turns out that they've been playing with a way to solidify high-end energies like light. What we might be looking at is a solidified or a crystalline. It's pretty special. But I think it has something to do with the space station that blew up. Is there any consistent damage with the ship and this location? Maybe this chunk of whatever it is got blown in here when the station went bye-bye.
It's possible. Is this safe to touch?
Oh, I wouldn't touch it. We're talking about pure energy.
I mean, if it's solidifying...
It's a good possibility, but the laws at which they are dealing with, a couple of things could happen. An instantaneous reaction with your mass, acting almost as if you're matter and it's anti, and then it explodes, or it gets really hot if it touches something. I mean, I can only imagine how super hot it could heat things.
Yeah, the issue is we do need to move it. It's not exactly in the most ideal location.
Well, can't we just... I mean, okay, out of game, is it like floating in air or sitting on something?
It was floating between the broken pieces of pipe, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
so...
It's currently floated between the broken pieces of pipe, and as you look behind it, you can see what looks like there was a hole in the outer hull, but the automatic seal system closed the hole after this came through.
So Whitaker will put his hands on his hip like, oh, looky there. Oh, looky there. It came through over there, and the ship closed itself up. It's a solidified object. Most likely we need to get some sort of gravity bubble to wrap around it. Then we should be able to move it. But I believe... No, I don't think it'd be that heavy. We should probably be able to get something from one of the cargo bays, like a grav lift or something. We should be able to move it that way.
Oh, okay.
Just don't touch it with anything. Period. Yeah. It'll kill you.
At this point, as you're looking at this, Echo, give me a just straight intellect check.
Oh,
and I need to beat a 10. Well, I mean, if you beat a 10, then you...
I do beat a 10. That's a 19.
Okay, so at this point, as he's talking about crystallizing energy and crystallizing light, this is setting off some memories in your head, and this is starting to sound a little bit like some of the research you've done in the past, with the transferring of souls and with backing up energy.
Okay.
What he's talking about, the crystallization process, that sounds a lot like what you were experimenting with.
All right. So then, in that case, would I know anything about, I guess, the best way to transfer this, this thing into, another area or another vessel?
So, in your experience, the best way to move something like this is usually in a gravity lift, but you have to adjust the wavelength to a very specific frequency, or else it reacts with the crystallized structure and causes an explosion. And this was something you had to learn through trial and error, and you know the standard grav lift in its default setting would not be creating a gravity bubble of that wavelength.
All right. Okay, so okay, I'll wait until we get the grav lift to relay that information.
All right. So, Legs, are you gonna? Is anyone gonna go down with Legs to the cargo bay to get the grav lift, or is you all just send the Legs down there, or are you gonna send Gauza?
I'll go with Legs.
All right. I will continue to crawl along the ceiling to make it easier to travel.
At this point, Walter says that he's gonna go with you, just because he needs to stretch his legs after what he's just been through. So he's walking alongside Legs. I mean, alongside Echo, and he's like, "Man, geez, I haven't had to deal with this much stress since I was a janitor at a high school."
Are you all right, Walter?
I'm just tired. I had to stretch my powers further than I've ever had to stretch them before to hold that reaction in. Whatever it was going to blow up the ship.
Good work with that.
You see he's currently just like limping, but then as he keeps walking, he seems to like be limping less and less and less, and then he starts like standing straighter up, and his voice starts to get less shaky, and he's like, "Man, gotta love that healing factor."
All right. Excellent. Glad to hear you're making a quick recovery.
It certainly seems like something that would be helpful.
Yeah, they don't call me an Omni level for nothing.
I see.
At this point, you guys get to the cargo bay, and you see people walking around. People are offloading things. You see some of the other members of the crew are fueling up the small fighters and other boarding ships that you have stored in the cargo bay, and sorting through some of the stuff that you guys are taking for some deliveries. And the dockmaster comes up to you and says, "Oh, Cosmic Corsairs, how can we be of service?"
We need yes.
Oops.
He starts now. At this point, Legs, were you invisible while you were crawling along the ceiling, or just crawling normally?
Wait, say that one more time.
Were you invisible while you were crawling along the ceiling, or were you just crawling?
No, I was just crawling visibly. I was with other people, so it does make it a little bit easier.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if that was going to be a thing, a voice coming out of nowhere.
Not this time. It's on the docket.
As the two mechanical beings start talking at the same time, because they're both driven by the desire for efficiency, the dockmaster starts looking back and forth between Echo and then up to Legs, then back to Echo, then up to Legs, as he's not sure which one of you to answer to.
We need a grav lift. Please.
He says, yes, grav lift. Gotcha. I'll get one of the portable ones. Okay. All right, cool. I'll be right back.
Please, before you go, please make sure that it's one of the ones with adjustable settings.
He says,
the default setting will not work properly for what we need to move.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I think we got like two of them with adjustable settings. I'll make sure to get those. That'll take me a little bit longer. It's in the top part of the dock. I'll be right back.
No worries. Only the ship to explode.
Thank you.
To worry about.
Hey, he stops. Says, "Ship to explode?"
Don't worry about it.
There is nothing to worry about.
It was a joke.
Oh,
I'm trying.
Please remain calm and bring us the grav lift.
The guy starts clutching his chest, and he's like, "You're the Cosmic Corsairs. You only get involved if it's totally serious and if lives are on the line. You're the leaders of the ship."
Otherwise, we're drinking.
That's why they sent the robots.
He's like, I will not fail you. And he turns and he starts tripping over himself as he's trying to climb up the steps and starts shoving people out of the way. And he's like, official Cosmic Corsair business! Official Cosmic Corsair business! The ship's in danger!
Not calm.
Now, are you two going to do anything when you see this happening?
I just look up at Legs in what would be meaningful eye contact if I had eyes to make contact with.
Fair enough.
You both share a robotic moment where you realize that these organics are very, very silly.
Yes.
Yeah, emotional regulators would be nice for them.
Now, at this point, a very young Dreth, one of the youngest members of the crew, comes up to Echo. He's one of the dock hands, and he walks up to Echo and he says, Echo,
Hello.
so all the lights went off, and then they kind of came back on, but not all of them are turning on. Did all the bulbs break?
Part of the ship lost power, but it will be all right.
Okay, because it's my job to change the bulbs, and I got really scared that I put the wrong bulbs in.
I don't believe you did anything wrong. It is all right.
So the ship didn't lose power because I put the wrong bulbs in?
No, it is not your fault. It was something outside of your control. And I pat him on the head, and I go, there.
There.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you for all of the hard work you have done to maintain the ship properly.
Yep. We're the most swashbuckling, bloodthirsty crew on the spaceways. And we gotta have a good ship.
He's my favorite.
At which point he turns around and he just starts walking on his way with a little pep in his step, and he goes, "Hi ho, Silver! We'll slit your throat. We'll take your money. We are the Brave Star."
I had no idea we had a theme song. This is great.
Admittedly, you have to admire his positivity there.
He's adorable.
At this point, as you're watching him go away, you hear a crash from the upper catwalk, and people start saying, "Watch where you're going with that thing! Oh no, what are you doing?" You hear the person you talked to earlier go, "This is official business! This is official business! You have to understand!" And somewhere in the middle of the commotion that's happening upstairs, you hear this female voice that say, "Stop. Breathe. Look at what you're doing. If it's official business, it would help if you don't break it." And you guys says, but, and this voice just says, "No, I'll take it. Are they which catwalk are they on?" And you hear him explain that you're downstairs, and then you see a female crew member come down, is pushing a thing that's about waist high, but it's floating off of the ground. It's a cube, and you see there's a projector on the top of it and a projector on the bottom. And as she comes up to you and she says, "Hello, Cosmic Corsairs. You may not remember me. My name is Ruth. I'm the assistant dock manager."
Ah, yes, Ruth.
"So I understand that you needed an adjustable grav lift."
Correct.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Well, Here's your adjustable grav lift. If you are in need of anything else, please ask me. I do very much admire the dedication of my superior, but he does get a little bit overexcited at times.
That is
That's what you
evident.
call it.
So then she
Overexcited is a bit of an understatement.
So then she hands that hands it off to you, and there's handles in the back that you can push it with.
Okay.
All right, so you guys are gonna head right back. You're not making any special stops or anything.
No, but unless Legs wants to make any stops.
Nope. I've got nowhere else to go.
All right, so
Before leaving, though, I do nod at Ruth and I thank her.
Ruth nods.
Yeah, give a little wave with one of my manipulators.
Ruth nods at you and says, "I do hope that this is remembered for my application for a promotion next month."
We will put in a good word for you.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you, Corsairs.
And thank you, Ruth.
So, you guys turn around and start walking back. It's a fairly uneventful walk back. So now we're going to cut back to the other three who were sitting there, and let's go over what happened in this time while you all were. The other two, because Spack is currently making sure all the power is organized on the all coming from the emergency power supply. So the other two, Eden and Whitaker and Gauza, I guess that is three, over by the currently crystallized energy source floating in the air. What are you up to?
Are you sure I just can't ghost this out of the ship?
Whitaker shrugs. Oh, I mean, if you want to touch it, it's a good possibility that it's a supermassive object sitting no more than a few feet is intangible in her own existence, but with your phasing ability, you might be able to actually maneuver its quantum signature. But at the same time, it might fry you. Look, give me a minute and I will run some diagnostics with Gauza and see what I can come up with. How's that sound?
Okay.
All right, one moment. And I will, using my little ARM computer, in the back of my cybernetic hand, I begin activating some of Gauza's sensors.
Oh no.
So he begins scanning like all the different electromagnetic spectrums and whatnot, and seeing what he can determine from this thing. Basically, it's a sense power, allows him to... where's his character at? There he is.
All right, so give me a perception check for him.
Okay, he has a perception check. Let's see if I've got where's his character at. There we go. Make sure it's correct.
Yep, I just need you to beat a 20.
I don't know what I got.
All right. Looks like you knocked that one out the park.
Yeah, there we go. All right. And the entire time I'm sitting there clicking away, Gauza stops for a minute. He gives me a very despondent, dissatisfied look because I could have directly talked to him what he wanted to do. Instead, I've taken control over him and I'm making him do it. So his head kind of like begins looking in the area. His eyes begin glowing. Like a little radar dish pops out of the flesh on the side of his head and starts kind of spinning a bit. So I take control of him like a organic drone.
All right, so at this point, as you're taking control of Gauza and using him to scan all of the different spectrums, you're realizing this thing has a very powerful energy signature, and that you would not want to touch it directly with any portion of your body, no matter what you were made of, whether you were tangible or intangible. And that you pretty much determined that touching this thing directly would be really, really bad. It would cause a chain reaction that would probably from what data you remember off the top of your head and what you're seeing, it would cause it to go out of its crystalline state and go straight into its kind of molten state. And because you don't have an inlaid energy matrix to shape it into a specific thing, it would just be a ball of raw primordial energy.
I'm going to try to explain this to you as best as I possibly can. If you touch that thing, we're all dead. That's it. Just dead.
I mean, that's fine.
Yep.
I was just wondering.
I mean, you see this peak right here on this graph? Hang on. The graph's better inside Gauza.
No, I'm not going in there. No, thank
Right
you.
here on this display.
As he opens up Gauza, you hear the bones start crackling off. As he starts opening up Gauza to try to like put Gauza on your head.
No, thank you. Mm-hmm.
And of course, Gauza the entire time is like rubbing his temple. Pushes the doctor away and begins projecting the information on the wall in a holographic manner. Oh, that's right. I put that in you last year. I totally forgot about that. Good little fella. Rub his head.
All right, so around this point, as you're talking and you're trying to appease Gauza while also explaining why touching this thing directly would be a really bad idea without a properly laid out energy matrix to give it a shape to turn into, it's at this time that the other two, well, the other three, Legs, Echo, and Walter, come back with the grav lift.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and haul this up.
All right. We have acquired the grav lift.
Excellent. We can't touch this with our people fingers. People fingers.
And that is why we have acquired the grav lift.
Oh, yeah, most likely you can, unless it's going to react highly to any carbon-based material. So if you've got like little rubber booties on your little feeties, then I wouldn't use them.
Yeah, no, I don't have. Well, I never took the time to divine what exactly I'm made of.
Oh, hang on a minute. Pulls out power drill. I can figure that out.
I don't like this. I'm okay.
Dr. Whitaker, I believe that is a bad idea.
I have my own power drill. Thank you.
Now, at this point in time, right, as these antics are happening in there, SPAC.
Yes.
Up on the bridge, as you have been working to alternate where the power is going and make sure all the things are powered up at this point, you start bringing up security camera footage to see where people are, and then you're currently watching this situation in the hallway unfold on a screen right now. Where you kind of turn on the screen just in time to see Dr. Whitaker currently pull out a power drill and start walking menacingly towards Legs as Legs is shrinking back away.
What?
He's also making a hand gesture like, calm down, it's okay.
I'm going to turn invisible.
Oh my gosh.
So what are you doing at this point, SPAC? Are you going to open communications or...
You know,
you didn't hear anything before this.
No, I did
You have
not.
no context for this whatsoever.
I did not hear anything about that, but I am already making my escape plan. When Dr. Whitaker goes insane, I'm going to run straight down to the dock, and I'm going to take one of those like launches. I'm going to take whoever I can with me, and we're going to make our own new crew on that other ship.
So that's what you're doing right now?
I'm making my escape plan. I don't need a whole lot of time. I don't need a whole lot of time.
You're not actually doing that, running down there in super speed kidnapping portion of the crew,
No,
right?
not yet. Because I'm counting down in my head the amount of time that it's going to take me, phasing out of this like slow world of that I kind of hang out in every once, for the most part all the time, and then just go straight over to where I can get away from whatever this is before it explodes, and all of the other rest of the crew are dead. But I'm also really entertained by it, so at the same time, I'm leaning back, I've got like everything's kind of like I'm pushing buttons as I'm doing it, and I'm like, oh, is he gonna drill him? Oh man! So and I hit record.
All right, so now we're back in the hallway with all of you guys, and Eden and Echo, you see Dr. Whitaker currently walking, and he doesn't intend to look menacing whatsoever, but he just looks like that, the mad scientist look on his face, because he's been confronted with a mystery, because he found out, oh, no one knows what you're made of. I can solve that problem. I can find the answer. But he's not trying to be menacing whatsoever. It's just unintentional. What is your reaction at this point?
Doc, please put the drill down. There is no reason to drill into our fellow robot compatriot.
Can't you just scan him? I mean, instead of like drilling core samples?
There are much less destructive ways in which we can discern the components that Legs is made of.
I've totally turned on the audio now, and that's what I come to. Like, oh shit.
You're right. You are right. I should have used that first. I tossed the power drill back into Gauza.
You hear a soundbite of a sigh of relief. You know I don't have long, but it's just like.
Well, since that's not the problem, let's see if we can't move this super whatever thingamabobber over here and get it off the goddamn ship.
That's very scientific. Thingamabobber.
Dr. Whitaker, there is a specific way in which we must move this thing.
Yeah, we put a gravity field around it, and then
there is a specific setting that the gravlift must be tuned to in order to move it efficiently.
Well, we don't know what that is. We're just going to have to play around with it.
I do know what that is, actually.
Wait a minute. How do you know what it is?
I know what the setting is because I have experimented with things like this before.
Really?
It took quite a bit of trial and error. There were a few explosions before I got it right, but I was able to determine the correct setting to put the gravlift on.
And there's been no memory corruption that could cause us to have any incidents, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, just making sure.
Well, slap me silly. I knew it. If we touch that thing, we'd all die.
I'll be here just in case something happens, so I can grab you guys and take you away from danger.
Okay.
At this point, as you're getting ready to activate the grav lift, as you're adjusting the settings right now, Walter goes to one of the water fountains that are currently situated periodically throughout the ship, and he's currently turning it on and just drawing water, and he's currently making a bubble of a larger and larger bubble of water that's floating in the air right beside him. And it takes you a few minutes to get the settings done, Echo, just to make sure that you have the exact frequency on that. So while Echo's currently working on that, and the rest of you just see Walter just pulling more and more water and making this ever-growing larger bubble of water floating in the air.
Hey, Walter?
Walter turns back to you and says, "Oh, yeah. So once upon a time, I used to carry a gourd of water on my back, but I keep it in my locker now, so this is how I get my water now, just in case."
Okay, cool.
He says, in case stuff happens and we need a shield. I thought, if I could skip the step where I draw the water and I already had it out, I might have like 1/1,000,000th of a chance of actually getting up in time to save myself and maybe another person.
Gauza will poke Dr. Whitaker at this time. Dr. Whitaker goes, "What?" Gauza stares at him, shrugs. Oh yeah, tank special shit. We could totally put a bubble around it just in case too. Hang on a minute, I just gotta get inside, little guy here.
Oh man.
Dragons.
I hate this part.
All right, so
Hang on, I gotta go through my full transformation.
So at this point, he unzips Gauss's back, and you start hearing and then as Gauss's body starts going, you start hearing this combination of noises of
Man, this is taking a while.
and at this point, you come out.
So for a moment, Dr. Whitaker takes the tiny little man and stretches his wrinkly skin over the entirety of his body. And then, as he's sliding in, he says, "Can someone button me up in the back?"
I would prefer not to.
Sure. Let me help you with that.
All right.
I'm gonna use my manipulators and just kind of get it
So
nice and sealed up in there.
So once Dr. Whitaker puts on the moving skin sack that is his associate, Gauza, very quickly a transformation takes place where the sounds of maybe a high whir or an energy ping, and with a quick flash of light, Gauza and Dr. Whitaker replaced with a 3-meter tall, black steel, red tissued destruction machine.
Now, as the light begins to settle, that's given off because it's an exothermic reaction of the transformation. So the light and heat that's created is slowly dissipating as you see he's currently standing in an epic and heroic pose as you all look around at each other, realizing no matter how many times you see it, it never gets actually easy to watch. And at some point, as you look around, you see that Walter is currently completely encased himself in a wall of solid water as he looks completely and utterly horrified at what he just witnessed.
Welcome to the team, Walter. Therapy.
Walter looks at you, looks at this, and he says, "How do you guys do that in the field?"
We try not to think about it.
Yeah, that's really the way we get around it.
Also, alcohol
Yes.
helps a lot with getting to sleep.
See, I don't have alcohol, and my memory is eidetic.
I wish I could have alcohol.
The images never go away.
Systems on standby.
All right. So at this point, Echo has just finished priming the grav lift. I'm not going to make you take a check for that because you know this frequency by heart. You've dealt with this so many times. It was one of the core parts of your research, so I'm not going to make you roll for that whatsoever. You could do this in your sleep.
All right.
It looks like somebody beat the stream boss.
Yeah.
And Cool has decided to give the hero point to Echo.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
Thank you, Cool. You're the best.
Yeah, I have the stream open on my phone so I can keep track of the chat and try to be interactive. But you feel a burst of inspiration go through you as you're doing this thing you've done a million times before, and something about it just calms you and focuses you. You have the grav lift in place, and you go to warn everyone. At this point, Tank, the combined form of Gauza and Dr. Whitaker, has projected an energy field in front of the team, and underneath that energy field, Walter currently has a field of hyper hard water, and you activate the grav lift, and it grabs perfectly. It puts a gravity bubble that fits perfectly and very stably grabs a hold of the crystal.
Now we just need a place to safely store it.
So, Legs, as you're looking at this, something about it seems familiar to you. You're not sure what it is. Like, when you watch it, like, it changes slightly whenever it gets grabbed by the gravity. And you just start to have memories of something. You just can't tell what. It's like a kind of a deja vu. Like, you've seen this before, but it's like at the edge of your memory banks. And it's really weird because normally you can recall everything.
That is very weird. Is there anything I can roll to maybe dig in for that?
Just give me a straight intellect check.
Hooey!
You can do it.
No, I cannot.
Oh.
You know, I'm saving that hero point. Nope.
Yeah, that is a crit failure.
No.
So when it's outlined in the red, that means you rolled a nat 1.
Yep.
So
I was just like, I did not get anything
It
there.
must have just been a stray gas bubble.
Oh dear.
yeah, you're not sure. You think it might have just been a trick of your memory core. You're not getting a whole lot from it right now.
Ooh, maybe you have corrupted memory.
I'm made out of a core. That's what I'm made of. All right. I'm gonna just keep in mind that is something vaguely familiar to. It reminds me of home.
All right. So, what are you guys going to do now that you have successfully secured the crystal tachyon? Or tachyon crystal?
Do I know where a good place to store it would be? Like,
you don't have any of the equipment on board this ship. You would need a special kind of container that you actually invented to safely store a piece of equipment like this. Well, not you, but you know what I mean.
mm-hmm.
So we couldn't keep it in the
But you're the only
pool
one who knows
itself?
this, not everyone else. So this is an inner monologue that Echo's having right now.
I'm assuming I know what the necessary materials are to build it. Do I think that I could do that with anything on this ship?
You would need to go to a space dock in order to get some materials. There's a special kind of graphite that you need unless you had a way to turn something into that kind of graphite.
All right.
Now, having watched all, we're going to cut back to the bridge real quick. Spack has been watching all of this through the monitor. Did you, at any point in the middle of this, decide to just grab crew people and escape and run away?
I almost did. Just to get away from the transformation. But I muted it, so I didn't have to listen to that part. And
Probably wise.
yeah, I was prepared right as the grav lift was getting put in place. As soon as I saw them push that button, if it looked like it was not going to work out, that was my moment, and I would be gone. and probably little Timmy with me, and that would be the only person I'd save. Maybe Ruth, she's cool.
Dang. I hope something breaks and you can't figure out how to repair.
That's why I got
I feel so valued.
Wait, you're not here anymore. Shit. So once I see everyone has breathed a sigh of relief around them, I feel a little bit better that Brave Stars is still going to stay in one piece. Yeah. And I'll put the mic on into the into that hallway. Great job, guys. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Now, all of
So, what do we do with it now?
Well, if we're able to get to a dock, I can find material to build a container that will allow me to safely store it.
What if they got material on that other ship?
That is a very good point. We could see if we can find material on there. However, I doubt they will have what I need.
Well, we still got to repair the damage to whatever happened there, and you know they can't see pointing, but I'm pointing to like the broken pipes. It's like we can't go anywhere until that's fixed. So, like I said, we have time for some fun.
I mean, true enough.
Where are we gonna store it?
My quarters are fine. I'm not using them really.
I would suggest that we store it somewhere through. God bless their souls. Won't touch it.
Medbay. Nobody wants to go in there.
That's true. I worked very hard to keep them away.
You have to work that hard.
You do an excellent job.
A bodyguard like Galza.
Well, I hate talking to people.
Then I suppose we will store it in Medbay for now.
I can make some room with the grav lift, and so, yeah.
All right, so I will... Yeah, I'll start pushing it over to Medbay.
All right, and it moves just smooth as butter. It moves really smoothly, like it doesn't resist you at all. And honestly, you've moved these kind of crystals, not tachyon specifically, but crystallized energy like this a million times before over the course of your research. So it just kind of it moves perfectly smoothly, and you get to the med bay, and you get it in there, stores in there just fine. You hook up the grav lift to a power outlet in there so it won't run out of power. And so what's your next course of action?
I suppose we'll go and check out the other ship.
All right, so who's all going on the other ship?
I am.
Spackus, that's for sure. This is boring as hell.
Yeah, I gotta focus on repairs.
Whatever hell is.
Y'all have fun.
I'm assuming that tank is still tank.
Yeah, tank is stay tank on the way down.
I'm just going to toss this out here at this point in time. I have no intelligence as far as it goes. Once I make this combination, it's kind of sad. So I do not make good decisions. I do not lock doors. I do not turn off lights. I don't flush the toilet in this mode. So hand-holding me would be good. Just kind of giving you guys a heads up. In this mode, I just kill things.
We'll make sure to lock the door and make sure the area is secure, and I'll put the caution tape across the door. No entry in several different languages.
Wait, we're not locking him in medbay, are we?
No. I'm not going to get locked in medbay. I can get in and out. It's just we don't want other people going in there, right?
Yes.
So as you're locking the door and putting the sign up, you see the little boy that you'd seen on the dock, the young Dreth child, come walking up, and he's currently walking towards you, and he's got an arm full of fluorescent bulbs, really long, like fluorescent bulbs that are even longer than he is tall.
Oh.
And he's got like 4 of them in his arms, and he comes up and he says, "Oh, it's the Cosmic Corsairs, all of you."
That's right.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Is something wrong with the med bay?
We're just
I know I was supposed to change that bulb in the corner yesterday, but I'm here to get them all now. Did it break because I didn't change the bulb?
No. You're okay, sweetie.
The door was locked yesterday and I couldn't get in with the bulb. It's always locked.
It's okay. He makes his own light. He makes his own light in there. You don't need to change the bulbs. You can leave this out of rotation.
Okay, that might be why they put it on my schedule.
Yeah.
We're still frozen. We're still frozen on the stream.
Yeah, that's okay. They can still hear us though.
Okay,
I'm
good.
I'm trying the other channels to communicate.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Keep going.
Okay. All right. So we're turning to a radio show here. All right.
It's like a podcast.
Oh my god.
So the little kid says, "Okay, I'll go put lights in the rest of the ship. We need lights so we can see to sharpen our blades to cut their throats."
That's right.
I love this tiny murder child.
He turns and hops away.
This is my favorite NPC.
It starts humming to him, starts singing to himself. "We'll slit your throats, we'll take your stuff, 'cause we are the pirates." And he's just offbeat, not rhyming whatsoever, like a little kid making up a song as he goes. And the lyrics are getting more and more bloodthirsty and terrible as he's just skipping along. And at some point, you see him stop underneath one of the lights in the ceiling, and then he turns and he puts one foot on the wall, and then he goes from standing straight up to standing sideways along the wall. And his other foot goes up, and he just walks up the wall. And then using one of his feet, he kicks open the light fixture, and then reaches in and pulls one of the light bulbs out, and puts in the bulb that one in his grasp.
That kid's gonna go places.
He's so talented.
All right, so you
He's
guys
going
are
up the
heading.
Definitely a place.
So you all see this happen. So at
Gotta
this
be more
point,
careful walking up the walls invisibly now.
small children carrying fluorescent light bulbs. And at this point, you guys start heading to make your way to prep to go onto the other ship. Now, is there anything you want to take with you? Anything that you want to take with you as you're exploring the ship? Any pieces of equipment, things that might not be specific powers of yours, maybe, because there's a whole bunch of standard equipment on the ship. Almost any kind of standard thing that you could think of, you would have somewhere on this ship.
Nice.
Any tools or specific things you want to bring with you?
Actually, I'll come along. I have tools.
Yeah.
I have no tools at this time. My character no longer can fix things, only break them.
Good to know.
And he would never make a decision to pick anything up and take it with him unless it was this big, heavy, and there was something to bash with it.
Fair enough.
Okay, so as you guys are prepping, making sure that your stuff is ready, Tank is just walking in the direction of the starts walking in the direction of the shuttle. You get to the portal that's going because you've pulled the shuttle in and you've pulled it up to and you've locked it to one of your docking clamps, and it's currently locked to an airlock, and you walk up getting ready to open the airlock and make sure it's safe to go in. You've got your space suits on, and just as you get ready to open the door, we're going on a break. So we're going to take what is going to be a 5-minute break? Is the normal one for this?
I think it's 10 minutes.
10? Okay, yeah.
10.
We're going to take a 10-minute break. We will be back in 10 minutes. Stay tuned to find out what the Cosmic Corsairs find on the shuttle that they captured on their last adventure, and see if this is somehow related to the crystallized tachyon that's currently affecting the ship.
Yay!
Dead bodies.
Yay.
right, everybody, welcome back to the Cosmic Corsairs show. So, when we last left our intrepid, bloodthirsty adventurers, they were getting ready to open the airlock to find out what was in this mystery shuttle. Are you ready? Let's go. All right, so you guys, so currently the entire party of the Cosmic Corsairs are standing at the sorry. The entire party of the Cosmic Corsairs are standing at the airlock. Gauza and Dr. Whitaker have combined into Tank, the giant monolith of strength, power, and protection, whose only goal is to smash things and protect the party. Eden, what form are you in right now? Because you can change all kinds of forms.
I think right now I am in my ghost form because it'll be funny.
Ooh.
Okay, all right. And also, we've got the super speedy Spack is there as well, wanting to see something that's interesting after spending so much time being bored, flipping switches, and planning an escape plan on the bridge.
Correct. I would like a change of pace, particularly a pace where that's sped up a little bit more. That would be fantastic.
Yes. And then we've got the robotic duo of Echo and Legs. Currently rounding out the group, ready to go. Walter opted to stay behind. He's seen enough excitement for one day after doing everything he could to to keep the ship from being blown up. So as you're checking, your sensors on the airlock indicate that it seems like there's a breathable atmosphere inside the shuttle, and it's safe to open. Looks like and your system says there's no life signatures inside the shuttle. All right, so are you guys going to open the door?
Yeah, I'll be out front.
Sure.
Somebody else will open the door.
Okay. All right. So you open the door. And then after you open the door, you look inside. And as you're peering inside, it's dark. But as you step on, lights start to flicker on. You see all kinds of pieces of equipment that are all over the ship. Now, remember, this was a shuttle that you guys had taken from the people who attacked with the hypertachyon emitter.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're looking inside, you find all kinds of high-end scientific equipment. Now, because of your advanced research knowledge, because each of you is very knowledgeable in some form of science or something, you guys are recognizing different pieces of equipment. You see some long-distance communication gear. You see some hypercrystalline computer data, or computer crystals. As you're looking around, you're also seeing multiple kinds of containment devices. Sorry, I forgot that word for a second. You're seeing multiple kinds of containment devices, and Echo, as you're looking, you see there are containment devices that are exactly like the ones you had invented. They are your exact design, down to a T, for transporting crystallized energy.
What are these doing here?
Sitting.
I look at Tank and I do audibly laugh. And then I just walk up to the containers and I start inspecting them. And I guess that they are consistent with my exact containers that I've created.
Yes, these are the exact.
Because that is exactly what you just said.
Yeah, these are them down to a T. They're your exact design, but you don't remember making these specific ones. You know all the ones that you'd made yourself because you made them for a specific purpose. You didn't make them to sell. You made them as part of your research. You were never a business person. You were a researcher. And so that's why this seems very unusual, because you hadn't given your design to anyone. And you thought that your design had gone up with your lab.
I don't know how they have these.
Now, at this point, you're also remembering that the person you talked to whenever you'd contacted the space station before it was destroyed, when they heard your old name, you start having flashbacks to when they said, "Oh, I remember you. All of my research was based on your work, but your work was never finished or published."
They must have stolen it or something.
All right, so the rest of you right now, you see Echo currently standing over a container, having what appears to be some kind of internal monologue as it's scanning these pieces of equipment, and you're all seeing these wonderful pieces of equipment. And Dr. Whitaker, oh, sorry, you're Tank, so you're not even recognizing anything right now.
Nope.
You're not in Dr. Whitaker mode.
Nope.
So what are the rest of you doing while Echo is having that moment?
Is the ship like compartmentalized? Is there more to look through, or is it just one big cargo and then like the front of the ship, the bridge?
So the bridge is honestly, sorry, not the bridge. The entire ship, once you get inside, is laid out like a big studio apartment. There's no walls between anything. All of it's just there, right? There's small partial dividers, but the entire center of the ship is wide open. It looks like it was designed so the entire thing could be used for some kind of scientific research or storage of large objects.
I am exploring. I'm looking at all the cool stuff. I'm darting back and forth because now, this is like an open floor plan. I can go anywhere. It's great.
Okay, so as you're zipping around, I want you to give me a roll and add your ranks in speed.
Okay.
And let me know if you beat 25.
Alright. My ranks in speed.
Let's see if we actually put it on your character sheet. Scroll up.
Okay.
Go to, okay, start scrolling down.
Is it the power?
Yeah, I'm just going to look at my sheet because for some reason looking over there is... Hang on.
Quickness?
Your quickness, no, your speed is 5.
Okay.
Plus your normal people get an extra 1, so your ground speed is like 6.
Okay.
But your quickness is a total different attribute.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'll let you, if you have more than 5 ranks in quickness, I'll let you use your quickness instead.
Okay. And I'm adding what to it?
Just roll and add your ranks in quickness.
Excellent. Oh shit, I failed.
Yeah, that is a nat 1.
I'm gonna use my hero point. That's what I'm doing.
Alright, give me that reroll.
Okay.
Yeah!
Yay!
Good save!
Alright, you got exactly what you
Yay.
needed to pass. Alright, so, you are...
Hero point engaged.
Yes. So as you start running around, you lose your footing at first, like you're tripping on something and you're not sure what. But then with all of your years of experience being a speedster and a pirate and an explorer and just being completely curious by nature, you know how to catch yourself when you fall. And when you do, you speed around and you take a catalog of everything and you're seeing all of these new pieces of equipment, and everything is made out of some kind of crystal. There's computers made out of crystals. There's tools made out of specially crafted crystals. You see everything, all of the equipment is made out of some kind of crystal. And it's really amazing how it all refracts light. Everything's about bending light in some way, shape, or form to do things you've never thought of. There's even a cleaning device that, as you're super speed testing it, normally whenever you try to move super speed and you try to like flick up dust, the broom will like get the dust up a little bit, but then the dust will fall off the broom and it'll float because you're faster than the dust can fall.
Yes.
As you're going, it's moving almost like it's just incinerating all the dust particles using the light at light speed.
Oh, guys, I think this ship can keep up with me. This is great. Healing crystals. Yes.
Yes, and yes, you find as you're looking, you also find a white box with a red cross on it, and whenever you pop it open, you find in there are some crystals, and there's some instructions there, but it takes too long to read instructions. So you just pick up the crystal and you hold it over your hand and you look at it, and then the light from the lighting above on the top of the ship comes through and it reflects through the crystal onto your hand, and your hand starts to vibrate even faster than normal. You start to feel invigorated.
Whoa! I'm so excited right now. I'm talking way too fast for any of them to hear me because I'm speaking in
Super speed.
In super speed. So I don't even think they can hear any noise at all. It's just so high pitched, so fast. It's just, a bunch of like weird clicking sounds and just and then I realized nobody can understand what I'm saying.
All right. So at this point, the rest of you, Tank, Eden, and Legs, right? You see Echo is still examining these containers, and it seems like they're completely in awe of what's happening. And you see Spack is running around at super speed, just a blur going back and forth, and you hear this weird clicking, like super fast, and it's alternating between really deep and really high, and you're not entirely sure what's happening. Everything looks like it's some new next generation scientific equipment, and you're not even sure where to go when you know Dr. Whitaker would be having a field day if he wasn't inside a tank right now.
I'll kind of like float up, knock on the dome part of Tank, and it's like, let the doc out.
Dong, 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 dong.
Dr. Whitaker is occupied.
Let him
Tank
out.
mode. Tank mode deactivated.
Thank you.
Oh.
The back end of the upper plate pops open, making sinuous snapping noises as tendons rip from carapace. I love that you guys do this. That's so great.
I stick my head out the side of the ship so I don't have to hear it.
I'm just gonna turn off my aural sensors.
And then a blue-skinned leg wearing a Converse begins pulling himself out, and Dr. Whitaker is now standing behind the pile of blackened metal and red flesh slowly deflating to the ground, filled with cybernetic pieces, and they're kind of shrinking, and that's going to take a while. It's just going to lay there and kick around until Gauza gets put back together.
I also hate that part.
So as it's coming back together, it still keeps making this noise of a slurping sound, like someone's trying to suck a piece of raw meat through a straw. Like a... as it's condensing back down into Gauza. And Dr. Whitaker, you're feeling a little bit like sweaty and warm because you just came out of this this warm, fleshy sheath.
Oh my goodness. I should probably wear a little bit less when I do that part. That's why I wear these pants.
Yeah, you should take a look. Inside go on. So shiny.
All right, so Dr. Whitaker, you're out and about right now. And so this is your first actual look at at the inside of the ship. What is your reaction?
Oh my! I will dig into the recompiling body of Galza and pull out his sensor array. Just pull it out.
All right.
And start waving it around like some sort of weird-ass tricorder that has eyeballs on it. And start checking things out. I mean, this is cool. Oh, look at here. What's this? Pushing buttons and, just make a perception check, I guess. Running through the spectrum of science-y kind of stuff and figure out if there's any cool things going on. Anything that gives out weird energies or whatnot.
Okay,
And make sure that this is going to kill us.
Give me a perception check. Let's see if you can beat a 15, and then after that, we're going to jump back to Echo and see what Echo's next step.
Okay. Bam.
Hey, proud of you. So you are able to detect that there is a light energy signature that is currently coming from most of the equipment, but it doesn't appear to be in any of the harmful spectrums. Now,
Great.
we jump back to where Echo is currently standing over one of the containers that is a perfectly functional. There are 3 of them leaning against the wall of these containers that are exactly the kind that you had designed for storing crystallized energy.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to take one out and I'm going to try to power it up and see if it's working.
All right, so you pick up the canister, you set it down, you go to power up the control system, and it kicks right on, and it's the exact same operating system you'd written for it. All of the controls are in the same place, the same user interface. It opens right up. But the only difference is yours usually ask for a password when they boot up. This does not ask for a password. It skips that screen entirely. It even has the same background of the screens. Whenever you kick it open, it just tells you there's nothing currently stored inside this container, and it tells you how much power there currently is in the power core and how long it can stay active.
All right. Well, I guess I'll, is it like a size that I can carry?
Yes, it's a size you can carry.
Okay.
It's about the size of your chest.
All right, cool.
Like abdomen size.
Yeah. All right, so I'll power it off for now. And I'll pick it up and take it with me. And I'm gonna turn to face the rest of the group. What are they all doing right now?
I'm just hanging out.
Yeah, at this point, as you turn around, you are turning around just in time to see Dr. Whitaker currently walking around with essentially holding a stick that has Gauza's eyeballs and brain on it.
Yeah.
And you see currently Spack is running around with a light speed duster that's incinerating all of the dust particles in the air at almost supersonic speed. Eden is currently in the corner, not sure what's happening right now, and Legs is just looking around trying to figure out why all of this seems so familiar.
After the trauma wears off.
And also,
I announce. Yeah, I'm not looking at that. I'll kind of just absently say out loud, I need to see if they have any more of my technology.
That'll get me to stop what I'm doing.
Yeah.
At this point, everyone stops and stares because they hear you say your technology, and no one knows much about your past from before you joined the crew. You don't talk very much about your past, so this is the first they've heard you directly speak of what you did before you were a member of the crew. So, what is everyone's reaction to this?
Dr. Whitaker will turn, pay attention to what's going on. The eyes on the Gauza stick I'm using will actually turn and look in that direction too. And Dr. Whitaker will say, Oh, sounds like we're about to get some backstory.
Yeah,
Gauss's eyes start blinking profusely.
oh man, so Spac like stops like mid zap and like, you know, just ever so slowly reaches this thing out and you hear that bzz. So it's like dust zapping, just like zzz, zzz, what? Your technology? You made this? This is amazing.
I don't think I made the duster. Did I make the duster? I don't remember making the duster.
Your research was in solidifying energy and different kinds of energy types.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to solidify to use for different sources, which is what led to the eventual thing of, you.
Yes. Well, Spac, I did not make the duster, but these containers, this research in solidifying energy, this is all mine. This is going to sound crazy, but I suppose the best place to start is to tell you that I was not always in this body.
You weren't always a robot?
No. Before I was a robot, I was an accomplished scientist. Have any of you heard of Dr. Ada Mori?
Now, Dr. Whitaker, this instantly piques your interest because you had seen a lot of papers that were written by Dr. Ada Mori. There were a lot of rumors because the papers were listed as incomplete, and the research was on pushing robotics to its next level and new kinds of energy sources that could power new kinds of smaller, more mobile and more versatile robots, and trying to push all of the energy to its limits of like being able to crystallize it, reshape it, so that way you could power robots for far longer in much, much safer ways.
I have heard of your research. It was groundbreaking. Why did you stop?
I stopped because I had no choice. My lab was attacked by a group of space pirates who I have not been able to identify. I would have died had I not uploaded my conscience into this android body.
Well, Whitaker nods, and he looks to the piece of cybernetic tech that he has in his hand and the semi-rigid pile of flesh nearby, pulling itself off the ground. I can understand losing research. I did get quite a bit of data from that station. There might be a chance to recover some of that which was lost at your first lab. Or we could sell it.
I hope that there is. No, it's
sorry.
It's far
I can't help it.
Far too valuable to sell. I would say I can't risk this getting into the wrong hands, but it looks like it already may have.
It looks like whatever pirates attacked you also got a hold of all your data.
Well, at least we have a target of some sort determined.
I believe that's why they attacked me in the first place, was because they were after my research.
That's also probably why they were after the space station. Your research. The manipulation of light and the construction of solidified energy forms. Dangerous stuff. High-powered dangerous stuff that can kill people.
Yes, absolutely. And if the wrong people get their hands on it, which I fear that they already have, the results could be disastrous.
I concur, given the situation that we experienced on the ship.
We need to get it back, and we need to determine, if we can, how far it's spread.
That's going to be tricky.
We may be able to get something from the ship's logs.
Actually, yes, it may be connected to the fleet.
That's certainly a good place to start.
Oh, I could get in the computers with a little help. We might be able to find something. There's got to be some clues, physical clues around the ship that might give us an idea who these people are. Spack, have you seen anything like physical logs or personal items around the ship?
So far, everything's... Yeah, she shakes the piece of crystal. Everything's pretty much been made of this so far, but I will look. And so I'm going to go into my hyperspeed again and just start looking around the ship, just being super fast about like finding anything that may constitute a personal item or some sort of log or something really cool.
All right, so at this point, as you're examining the ship, right, you find in the far back corner, underneath a seat cushion, in a cabinet, behind 3 barrels of rum, you find a single tiny data chip that is currently encrusted in blood.
So, as soon as I said I was going to look for it, I immediately stop in front of Dr. Whitaker. Like this?
Yeah. Oh, gross. Is that blood on it?
Probably, but that's not my problem.
Whitaker will take the chip and wipe it on Gauza.
It's not wet blood, it's dried. It's currently dried.
Okay.
It's dried and crusty on the thing. You have to like scrape it off. Be
Then
very
he'll
careful
take
so you don't break.
he'll take Gauza's finger, not his own finger, and use Gauza's finger to flick it off. Not let Gauza do it. It's like Gauza's finger is a tool.
Now, has Dr. Whitaker put Gauza's like spinal stem, brain, and eyes back in Gauza's body?
No, I'm still holding that. So Gauza's head's looking at me, but the eyes are like wobbling all over the place. And now the body's all like, whoa.
Can you put your puppet back together? That would be great.
Plugs chip into ARM computer thingy and puts Sidekick back together. Oh, let me look over this data for a minute.
Now, the only thing you find on this data is a single video recording.
Oh, let me project this on the wall. Zip. Sticks head in, begins working inside of the mainframe of Gauza so that I can project the video holographically on the wall.
All right.
And I don't have to keep my head inside of him. It's just, the computer terminal's in there.
Yeah, so it starts projecting on the wall. You see a shaky cam, you hear explosions going on, and you see someone wearing a spacesuit with a domed helmet. You can't see their face, you can't see what race they are, and they just start speaking in a deep voice. We were very close. We were close to claiming the next piece of the device, but we've been stopped. Our captain has told us to abandon ship. Our captain has claimed we must go to the Great Beyond. Our captain tells us that it's over, that we've been captured and that there is no escape. And so we have been ordered to commit the final act. We leave this as our final log. This is our goodbye. And then you see all of the people, the camera pans to all of the crew. There are 15 people in the crew. They all pull out these daggers that look like they're made of some kind of glowing, shaping blue energy and impale themselves in the chest. And then they all instantly vaporize into dust.
I did that.
I point at the duster. You've been cleaning up the crew.
Well, I mean, Walter wasn't here to do it.
You guys have been breathing the crew. That's gross.
It's a good day to be a robot.
I'm suddenly glad I don't breathe.
Oh man, I'm the only one here that's affecting.
Space ghost.
I'm going back in my suit of armor.
I mean, there might be something that, your brain needs to do and not, whatever that is, use your smarts or something. You're a doctor.
There is a lot of sciencey stuff here.
Yeah.
Most of it was created by the good doctor here.
True.
Now, as you start exploring the other pieces of equipment, you start to see, as this settles in and you're all kind of like looking around as you're starting to realize what this ship was, you see that some of these tools are based on your designs, Echo, but they've been changed a little bit, like they've been repurposed, and it looks like these were all designed for some kind of research or for researching high energy particles, higher energy than anything you'd ever dealt with. Like, you'd push the bounds, but this is far beyond what you'd work with.
That's interesting. I don't know what to think about any of this.
Should we start moving everything off this ship?
Yeah,
And,
might as well start
onto our own?
unloading. It may be a good idea. We'll have
Now-
some open room to work with things.
Probably.
At this point, also, Spac, as you are exploring everything on the ship, because you're just super speed running around exploring stuff. You're not standing around for this super talking normal people stuff.
Whatever. Nobody.
You get to the front of the controls and you start bringing up the controls and the piloting system for the shuttle, right? And you don't even have to take a technology check for this. It is such an intuitive design. It is the simplest flight system you've ever seen. All of the things are very easy to access, and it looks like it was designed for someone who is moving at your speed.
Oh my God, this is my new baby.
All of the controls, instead of being physical controls for you to touch, whenever you power them up, it forms hard-like controls for you, like where as you move your hand, it reads your hand movements and it uses that as if you were holding a joystick, so you don't have to worry about a joystick move being too slow for you.
And I got 4.
And as you're exploring as well, you also see that this has some kind of new crystalline power plant that, according to the data that you're seeing on your screen, it regenerates if given time. Like, it doesn't need actual propellant or fuel. It just, you can only use a certain amount of time before it needs to stop and refuel.
So I'm looking at all this. I'm really excited about it. And they're having like some stupid talking moment. Like, guys, stop it. Whatever this is. Stop. This is amazing. This is the best ship I've ever seen. This thing can do what I do at my speed. Guys, this is my new ship. I mean, our new ship. Or something. I don't know. This is my new baby.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
I think she just claimed it.
Oh man. No, you
The
gotta
ship?
share.
This thing, it just regenerates. You don't need fuel. You don't need nothing. You just gotta stop for a little while. Then we stop for a little while, just a little while. You don't have to stop too much because then all you gotta do is just and then you go. It's easy. It's so easy. You can do it with your eyes closed. I don't even have to use my eyes. You don't have to use your eyes. It's gonna be quick. Oh man, you know how many people we could come up on and steal their shit? We would be the even better than best pirates in the whole universe. The universe, not just the galaxy.
It sounds like we need this ship then.
Then we grabbed it. We should just get this attached to the Brave Star.
Well, is there a possibility that we could modify the ship's systems to work on the Brave Star?
Ooh, that's
I mean-
a good question.
I'm not the person who invented it, pointing over to Echo, And if we had a technician who knew a lot about the ship, pointing over to Legs, maybe the two of them could talk and something could happen, you know?
I think there's a way for us to modify it.
Little reverse engineering, yeah?
Now, Legs, as you're looking at some of this technology, right, you're
Mhm.
starting to have a little bit more of that deja vu feeling when you're looking at all of these crystals. Like you're not sure what it is. Give me a straight intelligence check, and let me see if you can beat a 15.
Oh boy.
You can do it. I believe in you.
You can do it.
Don't roll a
It's
one.
I mean, it is at a D20, so maybe.
Woo, not a one.
I mean, did I get it on matches?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get it on matches.
Okay, cool. I was awesome.
Yes, you exactly hit the 15. All right. So at this point, as you're looking at the data, at the crystals, and at everything, you're starting to have some memories to when you awoke to consciousness, when you stopped being a simple repair drone. And as you're looking at this crystalline energy, at these crystals going around, you start to remember at some point that you touched a crystal of some kind of crystalline thing that was filled with energy. And when you did, there was a spark of some kind. And you just feel like it's connected to this tech.
Eureka!
What? What's a eureka?
It's a type of spider.
Excuse me?
These crystals. Something. That's why I'm not just a robot.
Because of
I'm
the
a bit fuzzy on
crystals.
some of the details, but I remember interacting with one. And that's why I'm not, just a repair bot. That's why I'm able to function fully, as opposed to just more or less slave along.
So you touched a magic crystal and then you came to life.
You certainly seem more
Don't
advanced than
quite follow magic, but more or less.
I don't know. Ask Edith about it. She tells those kind of stories all the time, like something.
My favorite is about the Loch Ness Monster.
Well, it was something in the same vein as these type of crystals. So I don't think it's something too far-fetched. Echo, didn't you say you did robotics work as well?
I did. You'll have to tell me more about this. You certainly have more cognitive function than a simple repair drone, and I don't believe that I've ever met another robot that was quite as advanced as you.
Yeah, I stand out, yes, in that regard. Made things quite difficult for living in those conditions, which is why I'm here. However, yes, this is an interesting development. I believe some more research should be warranted here. But that's a personal thing. We can focus on that later.
Yes, of course.
As they're having this conversation, this kind of this awakening and this talking of history and memories coming forward, Eden, you're in the corner and you're seeing these robots talking about coming to life, and being a human who grew up on Earth, you're having flashbacks to Terminator movies and Skynet.
Oh no.
This is how they take over.
What?
What? I didn't say anything. It's fine. So there was this whole movie series on Earth called Terminator. The Terminator. It's about robots gaining sentience and then taking over the world and killing all of the organic species on there because they were basically they saw them as the bad things and the robots were in the right. Skynet.
Why do humans have such a distrust of technology?
I think it's because they're scared of things being smarter than it, and humans have a very long history of not liking to be not the dominant species.
As this is going on, my LED eyes are just going to turn red. Tell me more about this domination.
No.
It was right. It was a joke, right? That was a good. That was a good joke, right?
It was. It was fantastic.
Okay, great.
Are your eyes going to stay red, or are they going to go back to being their normal color?
They're going to go back to their normal color for the time being.
For the time being.
You never know when you need red eyes.
Mental note, destroy all the copies of the Terminator that I brought with me.
It's like, oh, see, this is why they fell. They were bipedal. See, that never works.
Yeah, legs never works. 2 legs.
Well, my 2 legs have worked just fine. They're enhanced for additional stability.
They certainly are.
I put great care into designing the 3CHO prototype.
It looks well built.
All right.
Thank you.
This, you guys have been exploring this ship, and Spack has completely fallen in love with the ship. Dr. Whitaker is looking around at all of these scientific pieces of equipment, and he's realizing that he could both use these to expand on new directions of his own research, as well as in the back of his mind, he's wondering if he can sell spares to make enough money to fund everything else. But not saying that out loud. And Echo is grabbing the container that will safely be able to store the tachyon crystal. So are you guys gonna stay on the ship, or are you guys gonna go with Echo to go put the tachyon crystal in the container?
Yeah, I'm going to help Echo get the tachyon crystal in the container.
I am going to call for the shipment crew, the warehouse crew guys to come over, and start offloading all this stuff.
All right, so whenever you contact the dock, a guy answers through the comms like, "Oh, hey, yeah. So, Cosmic Corsairs, you need some people to carry stuff."
You should talk to Ruth. You should talk to Ruth.
Can I talk to Ruth, please?
Yeah, she's right here. Guy, and you hear shaky guy walk away, and then you hear a voice say, "Assistant Dock Manager Ruth speaking. How can I help you?"
Oh, I was like, "Hey, Ruth, it's Eden."
Oh, hello, Eden. How can I help you? Do you need does your team need another grab lift?
Well, I'm sure you can bring one over, but we need some guys over at loading dock C to offload some stuff from our new ship.
Oh, that's the captured vessel? Sure thing. We'll have a team over there, as well as all the containment gear to make sure there's no dangerous pathogens.
Excellent.
The ship's still sealed up, right?
No, but we did decon a little bit inside.
Okay, so you followed all the proper procedures, and everyone was wearing safety suits, and you made sure that you swabbed everything for any possible pathogens or living matter.
I wave the crystal around. Zap, 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 zap.
Good thing robots can't get sick.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing hurt me.
Yep, we got everything. Yep.
Sure thing. That means I can send the team in there. If it's as long as it's safe and there's no strange biological particles in the air, I can send the team in there with no face masks, right?
Might want to wear face masks anyway.
No, it'll be fine. I've got it. Everything's good.
Yep, it's good then, I guess. I got the all clear.
No way for this to go badly.
So, yeah, I go
What's
around
the
and I
worst
clean
that
up the
can
whole,
happen?
all of the dust. All of it. Zap, zap, zap.
Oh yeah, she's got like a quickness of like what 13?
Oh well, in that
15.
case, if
15.
it's
She
safe
has a
for people to
quickness
go
of
in.
15.
All right, so at this point, Ruth's like, okay, well, if it's safe to go in, I think I'm checking the system right now. Looks like little Timbo's closest to you. He's got a really weak immune system, but he'll be really excited to help you all out. So I'll just send him.
No. We actually need some of the stronger guys, the big ones. The big ones.
That's fine. Little Timmy's really good at getting all the little boxes. What's wrong?
I need Timmy to go check the lights on the bridge.
Yeah, they burnt out.
Yeah, they burnt out whenever we had the power fluctuation.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. Okay.
I'm gonna check my sensors to see like the air composition in this facility in here.
Oh, when you check the air composition, legs, you see. Now that you know what you're looking for, you do see floating in the air, there are still some biological contaminants. Now, because of Dr. Whitaker's unique biology and the fact that Eden is currently in ghost form, it would not affect them, but any standard crew members without the proper filtration have a possibility of getting sick or contracting something for breathing in the air in here. And you also realize the air is currently, since the airlock is open, filtering into the ship.
I am going to.
I relay this to the rest of the team. Like, this stuff might kill someone.
So
Eden, stay in ghost form, please.
I'm going to
It's fine.
run. I'm
Stay
going
in
to
ghost.
use my super speed to head towards the bridge, break a light, and then come back.
All right, so you get to the bridge to break a light, and when you get there, you see the captain currently hunched over in the captain's chair, coughing up blood.
So I break the light, and then I see it.
Oh no.
And I'm about to dash out, and then I realize there was something in the bridge that wasn't there before. So I go out from out through the airlock, up to the bridge, break the light, head back down. I get to the airlock. I realize there was something there that wasn't there before. What the? And then I run back, and I go back immediately up into the bridge and see the captain coughing up blood. Oh, Captain, are you okay? Captain,
I think I got something stuck in my throat. Like I feel like I've got a piece of, I don't know, like something just like grabbing at my. Oh my gosh!
well, you should probably.
There's something.
We should probably take you to the med bay. Let's take you to the med bay right now. Hey,
Okay,
hey.
and then as you open the door to take him to the med bay, you see little Timmy currently leaning against the wall, and he's currently coughing up blood as well.
Oh
dear.
no!
We have caused a catastrophe.
All right. So as I do, so I see what's happening. I go back to the bridge. I slam on the hazmat red alert shit. Everybody get on their decons like right now. This light, it puts on like this flashing light of like the radioactive symbol, like that goes through the.
Whenever you press that button, it blinks for half a second, then cuts out, and then you remember the ship is still on auxiliary power because the primary reactor is cut out.
I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna take power from like a couple different decks where people are not at, and I'm gonna reroute it all the way into the emergency system, so that way we can get this going, and I can get little Timmy and the captain to the med bay, get them some respirators on, making sure that everybody else starts getting suited up, because apparently they don't breathe the same things we breathe, I guess.
Well, you arguably exist in another dimension at some point.
Yeah. So. It's just like, I guess it's a problem.
This whole thing of breathing contaminated air is kind of a slow people problem.
Yeah. It really is. Like, I don't understand, but they're having some problems, and I need to solve it. as much as I can, but I'm moving really fast. And then I have to slow down because, like, I don't want to break little Timmy's neck when I'm trying to get him to sickbay.
Don't
You
take him
can't-
to sick bay.
No, you can't because the tachyon thing is.
Oh, wait, so you guys aren't there right now.
You guys
This
aren't
is
there.
So Spat gets to the door of the med bay, and little Timmy's like, "Oh, you do need me to change the lighting here."
Nope.
And you get there, and you see the "Do not enter" sign on the door. You still open the door and take him in there to get the respirators?
Oh man.
I see the do not enter sign. I vaguely remember something about not entering there. And so it's like, no, I'm gonna change the light for you, Timmy. Hold on, I'll be right back. And so I like kind of shove him against the wall opposite the door. And I like squeeze open enough space so I can like dart in, grab some of the respirators, and bring them back out, and start like one of those moments when you're on an airplane and it's like, please make sure that you secure yours before you start helping someone else. I don't do that because I don't need to, and so I'm just like putting this, like slamming it into this poor kid's face. And then after I do Timmy, then I go back for the captain because I kind of left the captain sitting because he was just kind of there in the captain's chair. And so like I've got a few in my hands. I've got maybe about 5 that I was able to grab. So I slam one on little Timmy's face. I dash through, I slam on the captain's face, like tie it off, and then I just start running down the hallway, looking for anyone who's coming up next, and anyone that I see, as many as I have in my hands, they're gonna get a face full of respirator.
All right, so while Spack is doing that, the rest of you are currently on the shuttle right now, and you're kind of looking at each other wondering, what do we do? And you're also remembering your airlock scanner said that there was no contaminants in the air when you scanned before you came in. So you're wondering what's happening right now, if there was an equipment failure or what's going on. And at some point, as you're all looking at each other, you hear the alarm start going off and you hear the klaxon start sounding, saying hazmat emergency, red alert, put on your nearest face mask, get breathing apparatus on immediately.
Oh my! Eden, I don't think you should become solid. That doesn't sound like a good idea for you.
I concur.
No.
If you do, you could always put your head inside Gauza.
No!
The rebreather.
Never! That's never gonna happen!
Now, at this point, who is closest to the airlock?
I
Eden,
would be.
You were talking to the...
Yeah,
I would be.
All right, so, Dr. Whitaker, give me a perception check real quick.
Oh, wait, where's that one at?
10.
I rolled a 1,
All right, so
but I got a 17.
you're very distracted by things right now, and all you really notice is, hey, there's currently a sign on the ground. Like a piece of paper that has like an old piece of tape on it, but you just see it's on the ground. You're not looking at the scanner at all. You're looking completely in the wrong direction. Are you going to do anything when you see the piece of paper?
I'm going to reach down and pick it up with my cyber arm.
And when you pick it up, the piece of paper that was stuck in the corner that nobody would have seen, it wasn't anywhere obvious whatsoever. You only noticed it because you weren't even looking at the actual scanner that you were curious about. Says, in need of maintenance, gives false clear.
And that's the sensor that we used for the door.
No.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh no.
All right. Well, I quickly access the computer. I find out who is actually supposed to repair this piece.
And you find out it's the dock manager. He was the one.
I
who
acknowledge
repaired this
that.
bluff.
I put the piece down, and I say, this biohazard is definitely for a real moment. We need to make sure we seal people off and get this contained. Life supports need to be turned down to a bare minimum, and people all need to be on breathers who actually need to breathe. Please, because you're gonna die.
I will start communicating with the dock workers. Ruth!
Ruth's like, I thought you said everything was clear and you
Don't send him down here!
I thought you said you followed all hazmat procedures.
There is no time. We scanned, and guess what? Somebody's getting a demotion, not you.
Ruth's like, okay.
You know what?
That doesn't solve.
Executive decision. You're the new dock manager. Hazmat protocols. Do it.
On it. I'll get people hazmated up, and we'll start sending those who started coughing up blood to the med bay. All right?
No.
Okay.
Not to the med bay.
Then where
Send them to cargo bay number 2. I'll go there.
Okay. Yeah, that
What's
one.
the point of having a med bay if we can't send sick people there?
It's got some delicate
Equipment.
Equipment.
Get off the damn phone.
Okay.
I'm running.
Just send them to the cargo bay too.
All right. So you were currently going there, and Gauss is kind of hobbling behind you as you're
Yes.
As you're running to cargo bay 2. Are you going to stop by the med bay to grab any tools?
Yes.
All right, and you get to the med bay, and when you get to the med bay, you currently see little Timmy slouched against the wall with bruises along his mouth currently. And he's looking around, and you see blood dripping out of his nose, but he seems fairly conscious, if a little bit pale. And he's like, Mr. Cosmic Corsair, is it because I didn't change the light bulbs?
Does he have a mask on?
Yes.
Does he have a mask on?
Yes, he does.
Don't talk to me! And I run into the lab.
So you run into the lab, you grab your tools, and you run back out. And as you run back out, at the corner of your eye, you see him currently sobbing, sitting on the ground.
Oh! Galzik, pick him up and take him with him, but I don't want to touch him.
So Galza picks up this small sobbing child.
Jesus.
and runs with you to Dock 2. And also at this point in time, Spec, you have been able with your super speed and your quickness, you have been able to get all of the different rebreather masks off of all of the from all of the emergency stashes throughout the ship, and you've been just shoving them on people's faces. And you got about halfway through the people till you started running into people that already had masks on, but you're not even paying any attention to like caution or safety. So like most of them, you're knocking them unconscious as you're shoving this mask into their face. You just like boom, strap on the back of the head, and like their heads hitting the wall, and then you're just going. Because you've got 4 hands, and so all 4 hands are currently flying around, putting masks on people.
Yes! It's happening. Like, you know what? This is, I mean, as long as they're alive afterwards, that's all I care about. I mean, if they got a concussion, I'm sure the doctor has something to help them out. So yeah.
So that's what's happening right now, and the rest of you are all still on the the rest of you are still in the shuttle. What are the other 3 of you doing right now? Legs, Echo, and Eden.
So I think we need to get a handle on the tachyon crystal first, and then somebody needs to fix the pipe.
Yes.
So we
definitely.
We need to probably leave here and close it off for now. We'll get back to this.
Yep.
The ship's not going anywhere. The people aren't going anywhere.
I mean, they're gonna die. They're going to death.
Their body's not going anywhere. I'm pretty sure Dr. Whitaker can catch some of them.
I know how to safely store the tachyon crystal. I will begin doing that while the rest of you help the crew.
Okay, so Echo, you're heading straight to the med bay, and as you're going there, you're coming across unconscious crew members currently passed out with masks on their face and bruises around their lips. And you guys have and so you're just running past these people as you're seeing them passed out, and you see blood dripping out of noses and places, and as you get close to the med bay, you see Walter. He currently has a bubble of water around his head, and he has his mop, and he's currently swinging his mop in the air with like water tendrils coming out of his mop. And you see him when you're right around the corner from the med bay.
Walter, what are you doing?
Walter stops, turns at you, and because of the water around his head, his words come out a little gurgly. He's just like, "There's contaminants in the air. I'm catching them with my water and dissolving them."
Thank you. That's very helpful. I think.
Do you know where they're coming from? We need to waft them.
They are coming from the other ship. We are working on addressing the problem right now.
What dock did you store it at?
C.
We stored it at the sea dock.
Oh, the one with the non-functional scanner?
Yes, we didn't realize it was non-functional.
Yes, because the dock manager won't report it because he can't figure it out.
Awesome.
We need to demote him from his position.
Make sure there's no one there. We should. Once we get the reactor working, it shouldn't take in more than 4 minutes to get the atmosphere clear.
Thank you. I appreciate your help.
So at this point, Walter nods and he starts hobbling away, and you start to realize exactly how old Walter is at this point. Because before, you just kind of see him, he was kind of just a fixture in the background. But now that you're actually looking at him, you're seeing he has wrinkles everywhere, and he actually walks with a limp and a hunch, even whenever he is not injured. And he's got his powers in full swing right now, just swinging that mop around. And you see the mop start catching clumps of the mop of the water tendrils will get dirty, and then they'll break apart, like the dirt's breaking apart, like it's breaking down whatever's in the air.
Water filtration.
Nice.
All right, and then so you make it to the med bay, and when you get in the med bay, you are able to very successfully get the tachyon crystal into the containment device, and it is stored. You power it up, and it works perfectly fine. And as long as you get the reactor up and running in the ship within 24 hours, you should be perfectly fine to have this containment device functioning.
Yep, and I'm headed back to go repair those damaged bits.
Yeah, so Legs, give me a technology check to see how long it takes you.
Spending a hero point.
Yes, because that's another crit fail.
There we go.
And that is a crit success.
We work at extremes here.
Nice.
So you almost, as you're trying to fix the pipe, you almost drill a hole through the side of the ship, but then you realize that's a terrible plan. And
This is repair. That's the destroy button. What?
you realize it is not a good idea to try to fix from the outside.
Oh no, that's the opposite of repair.
I mean, I knew repair was boring, but I don't think that's how it was supposed to be interpreted.
So you do manage to repair it, and you move faster than you've ever moved before. It's almost like what the fleshies describe as having an adrenaline rush. And you're able to get the entire thing done in under 5 minutes. All right. So now we're going to jump over to Doc 2, which is where Dr. Whitaker is currently trying to treat the people who are who've been affected by the contaminants in the air, and Eden went there to go help him out. And currently, Gauza was trailing behind him, carrying the crying Timmy.
Timbo.
So, Dr. Whitaker, when you get there, people are lining up for treatment from you. So what is your plan to treat them right now? You see a lot of people coughing up blood, having blood coming out of their orifices, like something is agitating their respiratory system.
All right, so the first thing I do is I set my med kit up, and I look to Eden. I said, "You're going to need to help Gauza. You're going to have to open up his back end and stick him up to that ventilation. Then you're going to need to reroute all the ship's life supports to run through him and into this room." That's going to help clean the air out, because he's got a level 12 tier life support and symbiosis. It'll work. Just stick him around the opening, and he will filter all the air coming into the room. I'm going to administer some materials to ease their pain and cause their lungs not to bleed so much. That's the best way I'm going to describe it to you. There you go. I'm going to make sure they don't die. You wrap that little bastard around that pipe right there. Oh, boy. We're all going to die. So, character-wise, I'm going to give them some painkillers, some steroids to help their lungs heal up real quickly, and go from there. And, a little bit of my special medicine to kind of help boost their natural body's repairability. And she is going to attach Gauza to the ventilation, and then his immunity, I would like to somehow spoof his immunity so that it becomes an area effect temporarily. We have tech, and we have the ability, I have Inventor.
So I will let you extra effort to change his immunity to be an area of effect. In order to do that, I only have to ask one very important question. Is Gauza going to put Timbo down? Or is he going to still be holding Timbo as he's currently wrapped around the air filter?
He's... Oh, man. I don't know.
So would you tell Gauza to put Timbo down? Because if you didn't tell Gauza, he wouldn't do it.
I am honestly real busy doing a bunch of stuff. I'm hoping Eden can handle this one.
So Eden, you walk up to Gauza, and Gauza looks at you, currently holding a crying Timbo whose eyes look like they're having trouble focusing. He looks like he has a concussion. And Gauza has a death grip on Timbo. Because he was ordered to carry Timbo.
Gauza, gimme Timmy. Gimme! Now!
Is he gonna throw Timmy?
Yep.
No! I'll catch him? Can I catch him?
All right. Give me... Are you trained in acrobatics in this form?
No.
No. Actually, give me a straight dexterity check to just see how your hand-eye coordination is. You gotta beat a 22.
I have dexterity. I can do that.
That is not a 22.
Oh, Jesus.
You want to spend a hero point?
Yes.
All right. So remember how hero points work. If your natural roll is less than a 10, we add 10 to it, then we apply modifiers. So give us that roll.
I got a 17.
No, well, that's less than a 10.
So your natural roll was a 9.
A 9.
So that'll become a 19.
9.
So that's a 27. All right. So you do manage. So at first you start to jump, then you realize as you're trying to get out of the way of the flying child instinctively, you realize you should probably not get out of the way of the flying child, and you're currently still a ghost.
Yes, but once I touch him, he will also become ghostly, and then I can buffer this dropping and just gently put him down.
Yeah, so you do catch him, and your insubstantiability, because you did add to it, which you did add the extended mass power to your intangibility, so you can add that to things that you're touching, and you do make him intangible now. And little Timmy's currently sobbing and saying, "It's all my fault! It's because I didn't change the light bulbs!"
Oh, no, it's okay. Just, try not to go to sleep, okay? Okay. And I just put him down.
You put him down, and he's like, "It's not all my fault!"
No, sweetie, it's not.
At this point, Gauss is looking at you, very expectant, waiting for you to split him open and put him on top of the air filter.
Yep, I do that.
So as you pick him up and you go on the back and you open him up the way the doctor said, you hear this as all the bones start popping out of place in his back. And then as you start doing, you can feel his flesh moving under your fingers as you're doing this, and it feels like you have your hand in a pot of eels as they start squirming around your fingers. And
This is so gross.
God.
Why are you trying to drag it over the pipe? So there's a pipe coming in the room, and you try to wrap this little dude over the pipe.
you're trying to wrap him over the pipe, or wrap his rear end over the pipe, and then as you're doing this, the flesh, since it's so used to when it's spread open, someone wearing it, his flesh starts trying to grab at your hands because it's the automated function that it thinks you're trying to merge with it. So you feel the flesh starting to grow around your fingers and under your fingernails and between your fingers.
No.
And it starts vibrating and crawling along, and you hear this.
I love it so much.
And so
Everything is awful. Everything is awful.
What do I have to roll for my invention?
you've got it, because it's just repurposing an existing power.
Okay, so between his rib cages, between his ribs, the front part of him will open up like ventilation, and the air starts blowing out. with little skin flaps, so they're like.
No.
So you do that, and then you send the message to have all the air routed through, circulating through the vent in Dock 2, and currently, Eden, you're standing underneath it, but an entire ship's worth of air is being forced through this tiny fleshy opening. So all you hear is and there's currently mucus and fluid from inside of Gauzo flicking out with the air onto your face.
It doesn't hit me, it goes through me.
Oh yeah, it goes through you.
I walk I'm crying. I am sobbing. Have you ever seen a grown human weep? Well, now you have. It's just...
All right, and so, but the rest of you are completely unaware of what's happening right now. And so, at this point, Legs, you've gotten everything going, and you send the signal to fire up the reactor. Everything starts vibrating, right? And then the reactor fires up.
Never mind.
Huh?
Nothing.
What were you going to ask?
The thing in Galsa.
The reactor fires up, and you send a message over the intercom telling everyone, all right, don't worry, don't touch anything, the air should be clean in 4 minutes. At which point, Eden, you realize you didn't have to split Galza open.
I hate everybody. I hate everybody. I hate you, Dr. Whitaker.
And at this point, Spack, you have made it onto Dock 2. At this point, you've got some spare masks in your hands, and you see people are currently lined up, and Dr. Whitaker's going from person to person with a giant needle full of steroids, and he's just not even changing the needle. He just pops it open, pours more steroids in, and then just using the same needle on each person, just wiping it on his sleeve in between each person. And as you're currently watching all this, Ruth walks up to you and says, so maybe you should consult the dock manager before you pick which dock to park any future shuttles in.
You know what? I think you're right, dock manager. And I put like I twist my like 3-jointed arm all the way around and I think that you are quite correct.
At this point, Ruth looks over at the carnage in front of her as she sees the people coughing up blood, looks behind her at the hallway, and all of the unconscious crewmates slumped against the wall from having masks shoved in their face at supersonic speeds, and she looks up at the currently farting Gauza, except he's farting from his belly on the air filter.
It's like a never-ending raspberry.
And then she looks at everything, and she looks back at you, and she says, "Joy."
Yeah, once this is all over, I should introduce you to my friend Rum. Have you met Rum before? It's fantastic.
Is rum the alcohol?
And I give her like the, what the fuck else would I be talking about look.
She's like, I didn't know if you met Rum, the crewman who's currently slumped against the wall.
That Rum. And I point with one of my other arms, like, that Rum is worthless.
She's like, okay. So, it takes the better part of a day to currently go through the ship and find all the unconscious crew members and drag them back to get medically treated. The ship gets booted back up, stuff gets powered back up, and you have successfully secured the tachyon crystal and this new amazing ship, which has been brought into the docking bay to be stored and studied in a contained area. Little Timmy is currently recovering from his concussion and trauma. What's up?
Yeah, I got it. I've got Timmy covered. I have a special way to help him recuperate faster. You see, while you're inside of Gauza, you regenerate 5 times faster.
No.
So you end up taking Gauza off of the filter, and you start opening up Gauza and walking towards Timmy's crying, curled up body on the floor.
Don't worry, this will help.
Eden, you see him currently walking menacingly towards the unconscious
No, not menacingly,
child.
I'm a doctor.
Well, not unconscious, sobbing child on the floor, saying this will help with an open gauza in his arm. What do you do, Eden?
I fly over very quickly and no. And then I grab Timmy and we just like go somewhere else. We go somewhere else and cry together.
Now wait a minute. Gauza's specialized symbiotic relationship that he can create.
Keep your little fart machine.
I'm going to return to helping the rest of the crew. Hopefully he doesn't die on your watch. That'll be your problem to deal with.
So are you going to be attempting to shove other crew members into Gauza?
No, just Timmy.
Just little Timbo. Don't worry. I'll introduce.
He was the worst injured. He's a child with a face trauma. Somebody shoved a face mask on him so hard to bruise him. I mean,
and also has poor respiratory. So
poor little Timmy.
So
gotta walk with a cane and everything.
At this point, Echo, you've made it. You've successfully secured the tachyon crystal. You've put it into a secure part of your storage bay, personally with a lock on it, so no one can get to it. And made your way back to Dock 2 to see if you can help. And you see that whole scene unfold. You walk out just in time to see Dr. Whitaker hobbling towards the crying Timmy with an open-backed Gauza, and see Eden grab Gauza and say no and then run away. What is your reaction at this point?
I don't even think that I know what to do at this point. I just stare.
Yes.
And this
I am so glad I'm just chilling out where in the
in
hallway.
Horror and bewilderment.
So, as you guys get the ship up and running again, you get the crew up and running again. The captain gathers the Cosmic Corsairs together the next day after you guys have spent an entire day getting everything together, and he says, Corsairs, I think we need to celebrate. Another successful day where we survived a dangerous attack from an unknown enemy that released some kind of mysterious pathogen into the air.
I 100% agree. As I pick up like one of the kegs of rum that I took from the other ship.
And I vote we go to a space bar.
Space bar!
Space bar?
Yes.
Never mind. I shoved that
space
keg
bar.
back underneath my console.
He says, I have a special treat for you. I know of a special, highly exclusive, zero-gravity space bar.
Oh my god.
I love those.
This will be interesting to see.
Oh, there's going to be people there, aren't there?
Yes. Well, only a few. The bar never lets in more than 50 people.
That's 50 too many.
Would you be staying behind, Dr. Whitaker? Do you not want to drink to your amazing success and your development of your new kind of air filter?
People scare me.
I mean, maybe you could meet up with your friend.
How'd you know about that?
You really don't secure your channels very well.
Damn it.
I'm just saying. Don't worry. You can pay me for my silence.
How about
Let's
it?
say 5%.
All right.
Maybe 10.
Stop talking already.
For 8,000 credits a month, I will stop.
I got it recorded.
So, the captain gives you the directives to go to this space bar. You go to a place called Hallelujah, the space bar at the end of the universe. And
Nice.
when you go inside, there's a pillar in the center of the room. The entire room is a giant dome. It is a giant globe, right? That's rotating, so people can stand on the edge if they need gravity, or they jump off towards the center if they don't want gravity. And there's bars on the outer rim, and there's an amazing zero gravity bar floating along the pillar that goes up and down as people want it to. and you see the bartenders currently have harnesses on that's connecting them to the bar, so they move with the bar. And so the captain just jumps off into the zero gravity portion, floating with an unbelievable quantity of agility for his old age. And he goes straight up to the bar and he says, "I'll have a Bloody Mary with extra martini." And Eden, as the one who's from Earth, and you're just like, that's not a thing.
I mean, whatever.
A Bloody Mary, a Bloody Martini. Ha!
Bloody Martin.
A Bloody Martin. Oh God.
So, well, you have Bloody Timmy.
God.
But, at this point, the bartender starts reaching under the bar and pulling out alcohol, getting squirts of them into the air, and he's moving around in a circle. He has 3 arms, and they're all working in tandem to make a bubble of alcohol. Of drink, a multicolored bubble of drink as he's squirting them all together, and he waves a grav stick around in order to use its momentum and gravity field to mix the whole thing together, and then he makes a fist-sized bubble of the drink that's currently shifting in colors and flicks it towards the captain, and the captain goes, and then in one gulp catches it in his mouth, and the bartender's like, "Did it in one. Most people sip those." Captain's like, "I've seen some things. I almost died yesterday." At this point, the bartender leans back. "You must be one of those. You must just come back from a very dangerous heist."
Totally dangerous. It was so dangerous.
And
The air heist.
and the captain's like, "Yeah, most dangerous mission I've ever been on. My entire crew almost died." And at this point, the bartender looks at you guys and says, "Really? Your whole crew almost died? That must have been one hair-raising adventure."
Yep. You should line up some shots.
Certainly was.
Yes.
Line up
Okay.
some shots. Shot.
So he starts lining up space shots for you guys. And he says, "This is and for the robots. I got some high-grade oil."
I glanced at I looked at Echo like, yeah?
I look at Legs and I just nod. And I float up toward the bar.
Yeah, I tentatively leave the surface because this is the first time I've ever really had to do this.
So you leap into the zero gravity, and you manage to glide your way over to the bar. And when you get there, and he's like, "Okay." So he starts going out, pouring out bubbles of shots, taking his grab stick, flicking them at each one of you. And then when he gets to the 2 machines, he says, "And to the 2 robots." And he reaches under and he pulls out some high-grade lubricant. This is some well-refined stuff that you have to get from the rings of a gas giant. This is the most amazing lubricant you've ever seen, and it will make all of your systems feel great. And he just starts whipping it up together, and he shoots it up, and he flicks it at both of you very gently.
All right.
And then at this point, as you're all drinking together, the bartender says, "Hey everybody, we're gonna make the globe transparent. We got something everybody needs to see." And then make the globe transparent, and you could see outside. And then you see where your ship is docked. And you see for just a second, the Leviathan comes out of light speed, stops like it hovers right over your ship, like it's looking at your ship, and it's on the side where Dock C is, where the poison had gotten in. And then it's the closest, it completely stopped, like it was going to park. Then it turns, and then he's gone.
What?
and there's dead silence throughout the entire bar. And as everyone's sitting there staring as the Leviathan is flown off, and then all of a sudden people start clapping, and then they're like, "Whose ship is that? Whose ship is that?" And your captain says, "That's ours. That's ours." And people start pointing at you and start buying you. Everyone start buying you shots, start buying you drinks, and then you're all the heroes of the hour because you apparently did something amazing enough to take the Leviathan's notice.
Man!
Just had to nearly kill an entire ship of people.
Oh my god! Did you
It
guys
stopped
see
for
it?
us again.
It was so cool! Oh my god, I'm freaking out, man! Give me another shot!
This is
Echo, are you going to
incredible.
be okay? Or not Echo, Eden, are you going to be okay?
I don't know, but I need like 3 more shots. Line them up.
And as you're saying this, people are lining up to buy your crew drinks.
Oh man, I'm quad fisting.
Guys, look,
Oh.
I'm Pac-Man. How?
What's a Pac-Man?
Ah.
You're not even a man.
And on that note, as our Cosmic Corsairs have gone on another wonderful adventure of exploration and excitement, we are going to be ending today's episode of the Cosmic Corsairs. And I very much thank each and every one of you for coming tonight. I thank everyone for watching the show. Sorry we had so many technical difficulties with like the freezing thing before. I really hope it was enjoyable. Thank you all for tuning in. I want to say good night, and thank you to also who was it who beat the stream boss?
Cool.
Cool.
And also,
Yeah, I think that was cool.
yeah,
That's okay.
we caught it and we handed out the hero point and let them spend it.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Cool, for that. Thank you to all the suggestions and all the people. I was reading the comments, and I know some of the other crew members were interacting with you. I know we ran a couple minutes over. I do hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you guys thought, and we're going to be having the next episode in 2 weeks. Look forward to it. Look forward to the amazing excitement as this series of the Cosmic Corsairs heats up as they go on even new adventures, and you find out what happened to little Timmy.
There's no Timmy, only Galza.
No.
We are now one.
Galza now has a proper voice.
It's all right.
It's little Timmy's voice, though. Galza's just like jerking around and sounds like little Timmy now. It's great.
Little Timbo's fine. He's gone full pirate. I gave him a full keg of one of the rums, so he's good. He's doing great.
Yeah, Galza's singing the little Timbo songs through the voice of Timbo, but like from the body of Galza.
Let's see if I can do that. Wait, Timmy's got the high pitched voice, right?
Yeah.
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 Galza grumbles. And what's the song? Give him a knife. What?
I don't think there's any consistent
Alright.
verses to it.
There's no consistent verse. You just make shit
It
up.
changes every time.
Every time it's generally something about give us a knife, we'll slit your throats, give us your stuff, or we'll kick you. And like it doesn't rhyme, it's offbeat. It's just like you ever see little kids when they try to make up a song and it's just like none of it works, but it's adorable because they're kids. Just picture that, but with murder.
Picture that with this murder.
Murder.
Oh, no, nothing's coming to me, so I'll have to work on that one.
So
I
this
don't think I
macabre
can do
song coming from
scratchy
Galza
chop.
with a little kid's voice,
Oh,
waltzing through the hallway.
We'll hold you to that. It's going to be ready for next
wait.
week.
Totally not Nightmare Inducing.
All right, how'd you guys like this one? We didn't actually have any combat per se, but I thought it was a lot of exploration, a lot of backstory stuff, and I had a blast. Did you
Yes.
guys have a blast?
I was
yes,
super-
it was
I loved
fun.
it. I thought it was great.
Horrifying, but fun.
horrifying.
so the moment I realize he's going to go fix.
Oh wait, we're still live. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still alive.
Oh no!
We're gonna do it. We're
Yeah.
gonna do it. You all don't get